put my phone on vibrate.
Good idea. Hey, good morning, and welcome to Continuous Miracle Radio, right here on WGLM 106.3. Scott here with you again this morning, and we are live on the air this morning, which is always kind of a treat.
For me,
Yeah.
being live in the morning.
Well, there is that part.
Yes, sir.
We got Mike in the studio, co-host Mike with us this morning.
Morning, folks. Beautiful day out here.
We got Dangerous Darren in on the dials.
Good morning.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate you coming in on a Sunday morning. I know we all got stuff in our lives going on, and we got to make an effort to get in here and put this show on the air Sunday mornings, and it's a good thing. We got a guest in here with us this morning, and the guest's name is Ben.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, Ben. We brought Ben on to tell us a little about himself and what he's done since he's come to the recovery community. It's pretty instrumental. I know he's helping a lot of people today, and it's great to hear people's personal experiences and how they've readjusted to life and become useful, productive members of society again, and helping other people. That's a fantastic place to be, and one of the primary purposes of becoming recovered,
Yes, sir.
which is not an overnight matter. It takes
No,
a lot of time. And we have Ayan in here with again this morning.
Hello.
We always like to bring Ayan in. He happens to, well, you guys don't work together, but
No.
you coordinate some things together,
Probably one of my best friends.
and
Yeah.
good friends, and to help other people. They coordinate with what Ben does professionally. So that's how it all kind of works in the recovery community. So Ben, a little about yourself. What originally, and you can give us a little timeline if you'd like to, brought you to the recovery community?
Sure. So I originally got sober when I was 23.
23, hold on.
I'm 39 now, so that
I
falls
was going to
hard.
say, well,
Yeah.
23 caught me because I know Mike's got socks at 23.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah. So I originally
I
got
got
sober.
socks that are 39.
It just kind of went, wait a minute, because he told me a story, you know. I believed it. Yeah, it's probably true. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
No worries. So sober at 23. I was very involved in young people, in AA at the North
Okay.
Club in Grand Rapids.
Hey, wonderful program.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I heard they turned out last night and they did a sobriety count. I wasn't able to make it, but
Mhm.
I heard they had a big sobriety countdown down there last night.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and speaker had a spring roundup this week,
Mhm.
so they good on the North Club and good on the young folks all
Yeah.
coming out, shouting about it. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
So I got very involved with young people. Had 5 really solid, good years of sobriety, and then some tragedy struck in my life. My aunt died, my dad died, my grandma died, my ex-stepdad got murdered, all within about 9 months.
Ooh,
Um,
that's some tragic events.
yeah.
In recovery. Well,
yes.
It doesn't matter where you're
Yeah.
at. Yeah.
And I was going to meetings, and I was also severely depressed. So I went to a doctor, and I got put on Ativan, and that was the beginning of the end. That was pill form alcohol. I was taking pills and blacking out.
Okay. I don't have any experience with that, man, so you have to, and I don't know how many people do, so yeah. Go ahead,
Yeah,
let
it's
the,
a benzodiazepine. It
Okay. Let the listening audience know, because
yeah.
I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, so it's like Xanax or Valium, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Similar to that, and so they put me on that because I was having panic attacks and I couldn't function. So I was really struggling with my mental health, and so I went to a doctor to seek help, and they put me on a prescription drug that ended up really messing with my sobriety.
Okay.
I was going to meetings and things just didn't feel like they were clicking anymore because I wasn't really sober. I stayed that way for another couple years, and then I got into a relationship with somebody where domestic violence became a part of the situation pretty quickly.
Oh, so probably more trauma,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So after that, I really distanced myself from the program. I wasn't reaching out to my sponsor, friends I had made in the program. I was just really disconnected and isolated and alone. And in short order, I started drinking again.
Okay.
Can I interrupt
Of
this
course.
for just a second? Did you share with the doctor that prescribed Ativan that you were an
Yeah.
alcoholic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I was prescribed anyway, and I remember that feeling of this might be a bad idea, and then I did it, and then there was a feeling of like euphoric excitement afterwards of like, oh, it's hitting again. Like I was back in it. I was back in the throes of addiction.
Okay.
And after I was in and then out of that domestic violence relationship, I decided maybe I wasn't really an alcoholic, that I had figured it out too early in my life.
Oh.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
perfectly
Yeah.
natural.
No, it's
Yeah.
reasonable. It's
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Things are going so well.
Yeah, things were going great.
Not a
Yeah.
cloud in the sky.
Yeah. So I started drinking again. I completely shut my entire family out of my life, distanced myself from all my friends, and moved to Southern California, where I lived
Ooh,
for
SoCal.
yeah,
Where about?
San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful
it,
town.
it was beautiful.
Yeah. Yep.
My life was not, but the
Well,
location.
it's a
was
beautiful
beautiful.
town.
Yeah.
I was specific.
You did.
I don't know what you were doing.
So I lived with some friends there, and then they let me know that I only had like a month left, and I needed to figure something else out. I did nothing, and ended up homeless. I was living out of my car.
They kind of frown on that.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was not a great place to be. So then I moved to Chicago, got an apartment, started doing drugs recreationally. Of course, just casually.
Recreationally.
Yes, yeah. Just some light drug use along
This
with
is
my...
this is something you convinced yourself of.
Yeah,
of course.
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, just check it.
Along with my very heavy drinking, I sort of destroyed an apartment and stopped paying rent, and then got evicted, and then I was all the way homeless. My cousin had co-signed on a lease with me, so she was out a bunch of money, and I didn't have anywhere to go. So I moved into
Unmanageability.
I moved into a homeless shelter. I shortly after that moved out of the homeless shelter and was just living on the streets
In Chicago.
in Chicago, getting into fights, stealing, doing whatever I had to do to survive at that point.
Sure.
I got a bus ticket and went back to Southern California.
What was the draw? Warm weather?
Yeah, it was getting closer to winter.
Yeah, Chicago sucks in the winter.
Yeah, being outside on the
Especially if
streets,
you're
yeah.
outside.
It was just not a safe situation, and so I thought it would be better in Southern California. I got to San Diego again and found some cliffs to move into, just right on the ocean. I was making lean-tos and living in a sleeping bag and stealing food, doing whatever it took to...
Trying to survive.
Yeah. It was a very
So you
sad
could
way of life.
continue living the way you wanted to live.
Right.
Okay.
And that is when I got introduced to meth, and that is when things really went downhill. I was addicted to meth for probably a year and a half, smoking it as much as possible.
You were on a suicide mission.
Yeah.
His bottoms kept having trap doors.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
Suicide mission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would smoke heroin when I could get it. accidentally smoked fentanyl a few times and fell out from those experiences. Hit my head really hard a few times. I moved into a homeless shelter eventually, and the voices in my head were telling me that I should kill myself. So I took 180 pills one night, and for some reason it didn't work, and I didn't die. And it was shortly after that
Maybe you had a purpose.
right, yeah,
You just weren't aware of it.
yeah. I was lost, that's for sure. I didn't know what that
Floundering
purpose
vessel.
was. Yeah. So I eventually reached out to my mom and was like, I am either going to get help and get sober, or I'm going to die. Like, that is where I'm at. So she bought me a bus ticket on Christmas Day 2022. And that was the last day that I smoked meth. Right before I left, I smoked the rest of what I had and got on a bus and came back to Michigan. I checked into Forest View when I got here.
Locally here. Wow, in Grand Rapids.
Yep.
Forest View is a really good facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've seen some. They do some phenomenal work there.
Yeah.
You know, many people who spend some time there.
Yeah.
And come out a lot better than they were.
Yep. So I checked in there, and I had a caseworker, and I explained my situation. I was like, I don't just need rehab. I need to find somewhere that I can go and be and stay for a while and figure my life out, and then I need help with housing because I've blown that out of the water. You know, like,
Sure.
nobody's going to rent to me right now. I'm not in a place where I can get back in touch with my family in that way and rely on them because I had burned too many bridges. So,
So you had to focus on Ben for a change.
Yep. And
All the external stuff was gone.
yeah.
All that was left was Ben.
Yeah, and it was not a pretty picture. It was not fun to look at. But my case worker, she came back to me and she's like, there is a program here in Grand Rapids. It's called Guiding Light. It is free. You don't have to worry about paying for anything. It is inpatient. You get to stay there. And then I believe they help with housing when you're done. And I was like, sign me up. That sounds great. When do I go? We called. I got in the next day. Went through the probationary period for a couple days, which really scared me. A part of the process at Guiding Light is you go into a room and you have to do homework and you have to sort of prove that you want to be there.
This is still where you still got the jitters, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just,
So
I
you're
was
racked with
paranoid.
all kinds of paranoia.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bad spot to be in.
It was dark.
Yeah.
It was definitely a dark place to be. And I was afraid that they wouldn't accept me, and then what? You know,
Sure.
back to being homeless. And thank God they did accept me, and I got involved in the program. I got accepted to the back part of the building where the residential program takes place, and I got a life coach, and I started going to therapy and group therapy.
And it took every element, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing that you guys have illuminated about Guiding Light, how it touches on all aspects, whether it be psychological, mental, the varying degrees that people come into Guiding Light with. They actually have the facilities and the technical people that people are obviously educated enough to help you work through some of those critical issues early on, so we can avert, another negative situation.
There was also a spiritual component to
There has to be. We
the
know
process.
that, but
Yeah. I got matched up with a spiritual director, and we started working through the trauma and the grief and the pain and the heartache that homelessness brings, right? Like
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some stuff you got to shake off before you're able to get back into reality and start walking among the living again. Because I was spiritually dead. I didn't believe in God. at one point, I believed that God was real and that God had forsaken me and that I was really out of options for this life and anything after that. So
And you didn't know how wrong you could be.
thank God.
So Darren's telling me, well, he's flashing me again. Dangerous. We're going to take a little break and continue our conversation with Ben. I know Mike's curious about a couple things.
I got
too.
questions.
I know you do, sir. You've been holding your tongue this morning. I'm like hanging out.
Trying.
I know you're doing great. We'll come back and continue our conversation with Ben right after these brief messages from our sponsors. And we appreciate you all being here with us this morning on the air. Thanks so much. You look starstruck over there. Tracking?
Yes, sir. I'm tracking.
Got your question?
Well, I was thinking about one about how God,
Go ahead.
sort of like how you got pointed towards being an employment specialist.
Hey, Scott here back with you on Continuous Miracle Radio. Mike and Ben in here, Dangerous Darren on the dials, and we've got Ayan in here again this morning with us. Yeah, Darren's flashing me again with the phone. If anyone's got any questions, we do have open lines today. Feel free to call 616-754-1063. And we'll be happy to answer questions that you may have for Ben or Mike or Ayan or myself or even Darren. He knows stuff too.
I don't know how good I can answer as far as, recovery or anything like that, because that's something I haven't experienced. So,
Well, it's true. But that has value.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that has value. So anyway, back to Ben here. So you get into guiding light, you are accepted
Mm-hmm.
as a, what do they call you, a participant, a candidate? What
A
is
participant. Yeah.
Is that right? Is that terminology?
Yeah.
Okay. As a participant. So what took place within the Guiding Light program for you? Because I know people have different experiences, so we're going to talk about yours.
Yeah. So when I got into the program, I felt really broken, paranoid, as I had mentioned, scared, just really in pieces. And very slowly, I started to come to trust that I was in a safe space, that I didn't have to watch my back or my stuff all the time.
Well, when you come from living on the streets to
Absolutely.
moving into a
Yeah.
facility with other men, right?
Yeah. Yep.
There's other men in the,
Yeah.
it's a group thing. Okay.
But being indoors in a facility that had a lock on the outside to keep, that barrier there to keep the outside and keep me safe, that was in itself a really powerful experience for me.
Okay. You could breathe again.
Yeah, I could sleep
Yeah.
without having to worry about, because when I was out on the streets, like, I would get jumped when I was laying on the,
Sure.
park bench, or I'd wake up and my stuff would be gone. So I had a sense of security that I didn't trust, and that took time
Sure.
to understand that it wasn't going away, that the people around me that I could trust, that I could develop relationships and friendships with, and I felt safe enough to start rebuilding my life.
So you went from a pretty broken person
Mm-hmm.
to gain a little bit of trust.
Yeah.
Once you're there,
Mhm.
get acclimated a little.
Yeah.
And then you were mentioning part of your the spiritual component, maybe some of the discoveries you made with your counselor in there.
Yeah. My life coach was really instrumental.
Life coach. That's I forget.
Well,
the
we had therapy,
terms.
we had life coaches, we had spiritual directors, we had all of it.
Okay.
There was a lot.
Well, you need
of,
all of it.
Yeah.
If you're in a situation.
There was a lot of assistance.
Yeah.
Available to us, and I really took advantage of that. But my life coach, I felt really drawn to and comfortable with him to talk about the worst parts of my life in a safe space. You know, that I didn't feel judged. And he would call me on stuff. He'd be like, was that, life or was that you?
Right. Where
Yeah.
were you when this was
Exactly.
happening? Let me
You
ask
don't
that
get to
question.
just be a victim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you when this was
Yeah.
happening? Right.
Yeah.
I got a small trust question. You mentioned
Yeah.
that several times, but the things dovetailed when you were about 28,
Mm-hmm.
and you made a whole series of decisions that didn't work out so well.
Yes.
And about the trust, did your trust in things fall apart then, or is that something from much earlier on? Because it.
Yeah, definitely earlier.
Okay, I didn't. You don't have to go too deep into. I just wanted to make sure that it was just. So it's always been some kind of trust.
Yes.
Okay.
And safety. Like that's
Well, when
another-
you said safety,
Yeah.
that's the thing that made me want to ask.
Yeah.
Well, he mentioned he came from a home that was dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, that's going to
Yeah.
instill distrust, right?
Yeah. My
So
dad
it
wasn't
lingered.
around, and when he was, it was,
Right.
broken at best.
Right,
And-
but that lingered on through your life
Mhm.
until
Yeah.
you got to guiding light.
Yeah.
And made these discoveries.
yeah.
And then you have a counselor there who asks you what you want to do about that.
Yeah, what I was going to do about it.
Right.
Not just a what if, but what now.
Yeah. What do we
Yeah.
do now?
Yeah,
Here we are.
exactly.
Yeah. What are we going to do now?
Yes.
Mhm.
So I had to get busy living, and
Yes, sir.
I wasn't used to that. I wasn't used to being held accountable. I didn't really understand what that meant or looked like or felt like, for that matter. So went through the program, successfully completed the foundations part of the program, and then got the opportunity to go to Achieve, which is put on by Goodwill.
Okay.
It is a work readiness program. Went through that for a couple weeks.
So it's preparation to re-enter
Mm-hmm.
the workforce.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
Wherever that.
and society.
And society
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah. Because they do more than just resume prep. They do like life skills, and it's a very
Yes,
well thought out
no,
program.
please, thank
yeah,
you.
Yeah, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure that you brush your teeth before you leave the house in the morning. Just
Great idea.
Some things are very fundamental or like basic, but necessary to be reminded of when you're coming out of being homeless for a couple
Well,
of
yeah,
years.
you're rebuilding your life.
Hmm.
So,
So just those
absolutely.
little reminders were helpful.
It's understandable.
Yeah. Went through that program. Thankfully, I had some skills that I could fall back on. I was in the restaurant service industry for many years. I had experience in fine dining. So I felt like I could get an entry-level office position that fit the requirements of what Guiding Light asks for and expects of all their participants. That it is a Monday through Friday first shift on the bus line, because you're not allowed to have a vehicle. I didn't have one anyway, but
Yeah. But you're trying to build some structure, right?
yeah.
In your life. Okay.
And one of the first resumes that I sent out, I got a response on, and interviewed. I had like 6 interviews with this company, and I was just getting more and more excited and was afraid to be let down, but the letdown never came. I got hired.
Good for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, and things have gone really well since then. I've gotten promoted a couple times, and now I'm in a place that I can help the guys that are going through Guiding Light, because I work in a staffing agency.
Okay.
So anybody that is having difficulty looking for work or just doesn't know where to begin, even if we don't find them a placement, I can sort of walk them through the process of like, this is how you're going to interview, this is what this looks like, this is what it feels like, and do check-ins with them, which is pretty cool.
Kind of like a life coach.
Well, I leave that to Ayan, but
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm trying to put the dots together.
Yes,
Sometimes I
yes.
don't get it right. I'm like Mike.
Oh yeah, it goes but it's one of the skills that you need to gain, and the life coach can recognize you need it, but
Yeah.
he's not a specialist in that
Right.
area.
So a support system, for sure. I definitely get a lot out of supporting the guys that come through the program in particular. It really fills my cup, to go to work on a regular basis anyway, because we do empower others to live their best lives, and we do our best to help with that.
Sure. Now, in the meantime, before we get to that, you're still going to meetings.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
You're still fully involved in the fellowship.
Yep.
And
I work with my sponsor on a regular basis. I see him just about every week. We have a meeting that we go to together and get together before.
And you're continuing to grow emotionally,
Yeah.
spiritually,
Yep.
kind of growing into who you're supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be.
Just
Yeah.
a quick question.
Yeah.
Did you try to do those things when you first got sober at age 23, 4, 5 in there? Like in touch with the sponsor?
Oh, yeah.
And that, you were doing that?
Yeah, I was really connected and committed to my sobriety early on. But I felt like I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I felt like I was young, so it was sort of like showing off or putting on a show.
No, it's life and death.
Right.
For
Well, I
an
learned that
addict,
the hard way.
For an addict
Yeah.
or an alcoholic,
Yeah.
it's life and death.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
So you had
Somebody
to
should
learn
have told
that,
you that.
that answer for yourself before
Right.
you could fully commit
Right.
like you did. I'm
Yeah.
trying to find
Mhm.
out the difference this time and last time
Yeah.
because it sounded like you did the stuff the first time through.
Yeah, I really did, but I just hadn't experienced enough pain, I think. I hadn't.
Well, it's in ready supply, as you found out.
Yeah, it is available.
Pain is
In
available.
spades,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
There was a lot more waiting for me. But I'm at a point now that I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm not trying to prove a point or show off or make it seem like I'm different or I'm better.
No, it's who you've become.
Yeah. Yeah. I live in it now.
And that's a byproduct, I guess,
Yeah.
of working the recovery
Mm-hmm.
program and staying involved.
Yeah.
Staying involved. And
Yeah.
in touch.
It,
I don't think a lot of people realize how much time and energy, though, early recovery, coming from a situation like you were in, or any situation actually, you know,
Mhm.
to get a do-over,
Yeah.
and the amount of energy and time it takes to actually go through that process,
Yeah.
to become whole again.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, the first time it was performative. Not entirely, but, a part of it was performative. And now it is, like you said, life or death. There's been a mind shift that I'm just focused on, not going back to the hell that I was living in.
anything is better than that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's referred to as having the program go from my head to my heart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When I first worked the steps, big parts of it were more theoretical than actual in my heart.
Yeah.
But the actual going through it and doing moved it.
Mm-hmm.
I got the practical experience of trying to live a different way and see how that worked out.
Yeah.
Worked out
Over
a lot.
time,
Over time.
not an overnight matter.
Yeah.
And that's where the time and the energy and the resiliency for folks in recovery
Mm-hmm.
that they have to, they have to do to overcome the situations in their life like addiction and the trauma and
Yeah.
the events that cause some of those things. Wow, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it continues to be.
It
Because
has
life,
been,
life
yeah.
will keep lifing.
Yeah. But it's been
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
All of the struggle and pain that I felt inside the program is substantially less than any pain that I felt outside of the program.
Yeah, you grow through it.
Yeah.
You grow through pain.
And have a network and community of people that you can rely on, and lean on when life feels too big.
Sure, when you have
Yeah.
an event or a situation in your life, yeah.
Yeah.
You have
So-
a community around you now.
So when you're doing a practice interview with somebody, does any of that emotion I just noticed come out in that when you're helping them?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Usually it's excitement, because I see how they want to grow and how they want to change and develop professionally, and that, like I said, fills my cup. That really gets me out of bed in the morning and reminds me of living a purpose-driven life as opposed to just putting on the show every day and like, life is good, everything is fine. Like,
You'll
gives
get
me-
over that.
Well,
Some days are better than others. I got news for you.
but it says
I'm a
it's a
rigor
life.
mortis man over here.
Yeah, well, since it's a life and death matter, I have
Right.
a tendency to get refocused again.
That'll get your attention.
It got my attention. Well, for a guy like me, every once in a while, I'm not paying as close attention as I should, so he gives me a cardiac arrest to get me refocused.
It's evident.
Yeah, little things like
Little
that.
jolt.
But anyway, where you were, the passion you gave or showed me of that's one of those things about we can transmit that to others, that we can get that from life. We can have something, even though we tried to ruin it, not tried, we actually did ruin our life.
Yeah.
Did one thing right.
Yeah.
I got 100%
Nailed that one.
of
Yeah.
Nailed it. Yeah, get that shirt. Nailed it.
So, was, with the pain you spoke of was quite evident.
Mm-hmm.
Was there some person really instrumental somewhere in there that helped you get a better idea of what recovery looked like or what that stuff meant to you?
It was a lot of little examples from a lot of different people. I wouldn't say it was one person in particular, but it was just the way that everyone around me was living their life differently and seeing the
Or
changes.
trying to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seeing the positive changes in their lives. Like, yeah, I got a job, or yeah, I'm back in touch with my kids, or I'm talking to my family again, or I'm getting my car back. Like, just all their little wins
Sure.
really helped build me up to think that, what I'm doing not only is meaningful, but has purpose for me in my own life, and I can continue to do these little actions, and I will see positive change.
Yeah. And you need people around you to keep encouraging you, or at least living a good example. I remember early recovery, I had a gentleman, a good friend of mine, still is, Dave J. Looked at me one day, and I was in a early recovery, I'll just say that. And he looked at me, he says, "Kid," he says, "you got a chance." And I didn't know what he meant, which sparked the conversation. He explained a few things to me that I was unaware of. But yeah, we need people around us that encourage us.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're gonna go ahead here and take a little break, and we're gonna come back and find out, now that we've heard a little bit about Ben's story, what he's actually doing with his life today, and how he's impacting the people in the world around him. And come on back and join us for the next segment right here on WGLM 106.3 Continuous Miracle Radio.
Could it hear me if I asked a question from here?
As long as you speak up, yeah.
Okay. Because I really wanted you to mention your past 3 years now. And
We do have a little fun.
I'm focused.
Scott back here with you on Continuous Miracle Radio. Well, I need these guys to cheer down a little bit.
I'm trying.
We're live on the air today. Having a little fun in between during the breaks. So we hope you guys are enjoying your day too, and enjoying hearing about Ben. We're going to talk a little bit now about what Ben actually, we know about is what brought him to recovery and what he did once he got there, what he's doing today, and how's his life today, and how's the impact in the world around him, and living his life a day at a time. And because that's part of the recovery process. We get to become restored to productive members of society again. And I already reassured him he's not showing off. He cannot take credit for God's handiwork,
Absolutely.
and none of us can.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here on the radio with you today. continuous miracle radio, because that's what it is. Day at a time, person at a time, situation at a time. Don't have to pick up a drink or a drug. Isn't that right, young man?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky to not feel the urge or feel compelled to, after I have a long day or a difficult day, want to drink or want to do drugs again, or
That's not your first thought.
yeah, right.
Right.
Because I know the oblivion that it leads me to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've experienced it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're comfortable in your own skin, so to speak.
Absolutely. Yeah. More so than I've ever been in my life.
So I know you're plugged into the recovery community,
Mhm.
and I know you're gainfully employed, have been promoted, doing well in your profession.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it today? I know you interact with a lot of people coming, not just at a guiding light, I'm sure, but general public.
Yep.
And looking for employment, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So how does that, you having conversations with them, because you do an interview process, I'm
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
And because you have to be responsible for the companies that hire you.
Right.
I just want to make sure I
Yes.
understand it right, because I'm not.
Yep.
That's not part of my expertise,
Yeah.
if I have any at all.
There's that.
But it's not that.
Yeah.
So what's that look like on a daily basis for you?
So I am an account manager at the staffing agency that I work at. So I deal more with associates that have already been placed in positions, and then if they're having personal life experiences or struggles that are limiting them to make it to work, or if they're having an issue at work with a supervisor, or just something in their life changes that they're not able to fulfill that obligation to their employer, they reach out to me. I'm sort of their lifeline and their liaison between themselves and the company.
And coming from a place of recovery,
Mhm.
okay, I'm sure you probably built up a pretty good reserve of empathy,
Yeah,
understanding,
yeah,
not telling people what to do,
Yeah.
but listening.
yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Yeah,
it correctly.
absolutely. And that's sort of where I was headed, the empathy component through my own personal experiences of homelessness and addiction and, traumatic experiences. I can listen and not feel like I need to interject and be like, oh, me too. I've had that happen. It's more of just an understanding of, okay, you're going through this, what's next? What
Sure.
are we going to do to get you out of this place and help you?
Which is
overcome?
what recovery is in a nutshell.
Yeah,
I mean, that component, okay, this really happened, or this happened to me.
yeah,
This was a part of who I was.
yeah,
And someone needs to ask that question, okay, now what do you want to do about that?
yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Well, because we're not going to sit here.
Right. I'll sit with you, but I'm not going to stay in it with you.
No,
We're going to
not my job.
find a way to move past this together. And it's a really great opportunity for me to practice patience with people, and be authentic and empathetic, while being true to the business acumen side of things.
Well, principles.
Yes,
Your principles that you've acquired.
yeah,
Practice principles
Mhm.
over the personalities. It's across the desk from you.
right,
And you get an opportunity to put that into action
Mhm.
daily.
yeah,
Whatever, that's a gift.
yeah,
And don't feel bad. We don't get it right all the time.
right. And it's
plenty
okay
of
to make
mistakes along
mistakes,
the way,
right? Yeah,
But that's where we learn.
right,
I could have done that differently.
right,
Or, well, it's not quite, never mind.
yeah,
Or I really dropped the ball here.
right.
But part of being in recovery is to be able to recognize our own mistakes
Hmm.
and then try and take some corrective action.
Yeah,
And, and that those are grown up attributes.
yeah. Thank you.
Not everybody has them. And I don't care if you're in recovery or you're just a normal person. Not
Yeah.
everybody acquires those attributes. So,
Yeah, I think that I've really grown up this last time around.
Mike, kind of a curious creature.
Yeah, but I'm this not about me. I got a question here for Ben,
know.
if it's okay. but it has to do with a lot of the people you deal with. They just come from a lot of chaos, and they're trying to make that normal. And the empathy about the chaos. Do you ever have to point out to them, they kind of tap them on the shoulder and say, "You might have caused that"? Or is it because we're trying to get
Definitely
better.
not the first interaction.
Okay.
The
Is
first
that-
time I'm talking to somebody, I'm not going to point out that this is, potentially your doing. But, and that's really not why I'm there anyway. It's to help them figure out a way out of it, and give them a new opportunity, a second chance.
Well, start your day over?
A different idea.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, different idea.
And when somebody comes in and they're wearing, an emblem around their neck that's a circle with a triangle, I will make little hints. I'll be like, "I like your necklace," or something like that. And they're like, "Oh, I'm sober." I'm like, I'm aware, yes. But I don't make it about me. I just acknowledge them for that.
Sure.
If they come in with key tags, I'm like, "Good for you." Just those little boosts of encouragement that I can give. I think that that's more important than letting them know that you had a part to play in your own experience with how your life is going.
Right, you're not a sponsor.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No. We got other people for that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do hold people accountable. If someone
Absolutely.
isn't living up to the expectations that are set at that interview process, at the time of hire, I am the one to follow up and have that conversation and look them in the eye and be like, "This isn't working and this is why."
Okay.
I'm not afraid of acknowledging the truth in the situation.
A lot of people are.
Yeah. Being conflict averse is a pretty human trait. I would say we all don't want to be involved in conflict, but at the same time, I have a responsibility to the company that I work for and myself to live in reality and tell the truth. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we got Ayan in here too. I know he had a question or two. Go ahead, Ayan. Go ahead. What was your question?
Well, so you're running on 3 years and you're becoming an example, and I just wonder what that experience is like for you, like what that's like for you.
Yeah. I sort of think back to when I was in the program. I wouldn't recognize myself. I think back to the way that I was living my life, still a lot of the time as a victim. I had to shake a lot of that off. But now it's sort of just an expectation that I have for myself that this is who I am and this is how I show up every day. And if other people recognize that, that's great. But if not, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing for me.
It was another David J.
Okay.
It's none of your business what other people think. Just keep doing the next right thing.
Yep.
Real simple.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I feel like that can lead to a lot of pressure of like, I have to be a good example. Well, no, I just have to be myself, and if that is a good example, then great. It's an example either way.
Well, it's a byproduct.
Yeah.
If you're
if
living
people are
that
looking,
way, it's a byproduct.
yeah, you're either a good example or you're not. So it just really depends on the way you live
And
in your
there's
life.
some days you're not going to be.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And those are when, we fall short,
Mm-hmm.
like every other human being.
Yeah.
But we can recognize it
Mm-hmm.
and maybe make some corrections.
Yeah.
So, well, probably should.
Yeah.
Right.
One thing that I've really learned through Guiding Light is showing up on purpose, living with intentionality, and having something that you're focused on and drives you to continue going. Those
And
little
these are all some
milestones.
attributes you learned going through the Guiding Light program,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
They weren't inherent. You just didn't discover them. They were pointed
No,
out.
it wasn't like
Right. You actually
some
had...
aha moment.
Right. Oh, yeah. When the
There was
light
work
didn't go off.
involved. Yes, absolutely.
Maybe Ann had that. No, Mike had it that way.
No.
The old light the flicker for 70 years, it finally popped on.
And I didn't recognize it.
Right? Yeah. Oh, it's right in here.
No, but with the idea of being an example, I also want to be somebody that I would look up to as a younger version of myself. That was a big part of the reason that I went back to school and got my degree after getting sober. I always wanted that, and I felt like I was falling short of my own expectations of myself and goals and dreams that I had. When I was younger, I wanted to travel, so I did. But then I didn't get my degree. You know, I learned a lot along the way, but this was something that I wanted to do for myself, so it was really important to me to get it done.
And what's your degree in?
It's a business degree from Grand Valley.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I knew you had some formal education. I just
Yes.
didn't know exactly the extent of it.
Yep. So that was really important to me, and I think that, you know, being a good example is just like, as you said, a byproduct of the work that you're putting in.
I found it's a byproduct of living right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Our introduction song from Johnny, friend Johnny, put that together.
Yeah.
And it says you can become an example. I found that to be true. Sometimes a good example, sometimes not
Right.
so much.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because like you said, we're still people being people.
Mm-hmm.
We're just doing life a lot better than what we had. Correct.
Yeah. Which is it's always been interesting to me too that you work with people outside of recovery, because that's not something I get to experience.
Yeah.
Right. Very often.
Yeah.
And just I wonder too, it's if you notice any big differences between people that come in recovery or people that are not in recovery as far as placing them with jobs too.
Well, I think that yes.
Yeah.
There's like an urgency with the associates that we place that, you know, have homes and families and car payments and food
Sure.
to put on the table, that all those needs are being met at Guiding Light.
Right.
For the people that are coming in, they have a little more time to take because their immediate needs are already being met. So I am able to have a different experience with them and lay down a different set of expectations of, you know, if this doesn't work, I'm going to have a conversation with your life coach. Where there's like
it's probably necessary, right?
Right, like
Right.
letting them know
'Cause
that there's
in
going to
your-
be transparency.
Yeah, and in your position, you want to make sure that the people you're sending out to these companies, they're going to be competent people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
people are also just going to be people, and
Oh,
you
of
got to
course.
let them. You know,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
let them succeed or let them fail, whatever that's going to look like for them.
Call that denting things up a little
Yeah.
bit.
I've done it a few things. And
Yeah,
how it's done.
I
absolutely.
was waiting to hear it. Come on, Mike.
Yeah.
No, I'm still in
Everybody's
the
good
game,
at-
boss.
Everybody's good at something.
You ought to see my car if you don't believe me.
He's done a few things on it.
You ought to see the ones I retired.
Yeah.
They were really.
Yeah.
Never mind.
There's photos. We got some gems out there.
You should have seen the Cyclops I drove. A one-eyed
We're
car.
not
Yeah.
going back in the memory machine today. It was a beaut, though. But back to you and these folks being folks and reporting back to you.
Uh-huh.
And then if there's some accountability factor, you got a life coach over here, right?
Right.
And the two of you can have a conversation with the life coach then to kind of get things squared away.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
When something is just trending in the wrong direction, it's easier to reach out to Guiding Light and be like, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm noticing, and then it can be addressed on multiple levels with multiple people that they're accountable to, whereas people that are accountable to their children and, you know, the banks and all of the other
Sure.
daily responsibilities that they have,
Yep.
I have to be more understanding and like, all right, like I get it, you're not able to make it to work because you don't have the transportation or you don't have childcare. I have to just be more
understand.
receptive of that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, understand it. So that person is feeling the actual pressures of life.
Right,
So-
right. Which you're sort of shielded from in guiding light.
Sure.
You're in a safe bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the bubble. Right.
So I can have a higher expectation that you're going to make it to work on time every day and do your best, because otherwise I'm going to have a conversation with your life coach.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and going through it too, you have the perspective of that being important, that bubble being important. But
Yeah.
Then also, I just imagine if the people that were coming from guiding light were working with anybody else, that can be kind of a frustrating thing to deal with and try to understand.
Right.
So it's just
Right.
it's paid off
Yes.
to know what's happening.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And what the
Well,
requirements are. And
Right.
what,
Sounds
yeah.
like it's paid off for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
put a lot of people to work, haven't you?
I've helped a few. Yes, it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a huge barrier to getting back into life.
Mhm.
That's the next.
Yeah.
You're about ready to cross over a threshold yourself, you were mentioning.
Am I?
Well, a new apartment.
Oh yeah, I'm moving.
Yeah, you're moving. Look at this kid go.
Doors have thresholds.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. No, it's
Well,
funny.
thank you, Mike.
Well, I just want you on in the game, boss.
Yeah.
I knew you'd see a slam dunk in here sometime today.
Yeah.
There you come.
Boom. Even a blind hog looks out of an acorn once in a
There it
while.
was. So, congratulations
Yeah,
to
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of good things are happening down there.
Mm-hmm.
Guiding light and
Yeah.
the direction that things are going and people are moving in.
Yeah.
A lot of growth, a lot of recovery.
Yeah. It's important work that they do.
It's critical. Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about people's lives being restored.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen just everywhere.
No, I was at that 1 year celebration for 7 different people 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Hear how they turned their lives around through guiding light.
Yeah.
Well, it couldn't be possible without alumni coming back and giving
Folks
back
like
like that.
Yeah.
Carrying the
Thank
message.
you. And
Yeah.
that's I call that heart work. I call that heart work. You know, when you're helping other people, it's got to come from the heart, not the head. So we want to thank our sponsors. One of them being Guiding Light. Thank Ben and Ayan again for coming in here this morning and him sharing his story and all the good works that are taking place down there on behalf of all of us. So, Mike, want to thank you for showing up again today.
I did.
Ben, congratulations.
Thanks for having me.
And congratulations, young man. Always a pleasure to see you guys. Come on back and join us next week because we've got a special guest coming on the show. Isn't that right, Mike?
Yes, we do.
All
Yes.
right. Scott signing off right here. Continuous Miracle Radio, 106.3 WGLL.
Actually, we don't have one next
I
week.
know that.
But they don't want to
but
hear
I've
that
got-
crap.
Yes, we do.
I got.
But what I